You're here, huh? Then you can die too.
Gotta be cold, you gotta be a killer.
Be real to pretend to be, fiction's the enemy. Message to the industry, prepare for anarchy, prepare for revolution. Brothers, let's get in it. Sisters, join the rebellion, industry anarchy. Be real to pretend to be, fiction's the enemy. Message to the industry, prepare for anarchy, prepare for revolution. Brothers, let's get in it. Sisters, join the rebellion, industry anarchy. Stand tall, stand proud, my nigga.
So if you've been to my channel, you know who I'm a fan of. You know whose team I'm on for this movie. But did it deliver? Did this movie do better than the previous Godzilla movie? Did this movie do Kong justice? And how about that surprise that they spoiled in the first trailer that I called? And finally, was any of my theories right? I'll tell you flat out. My fake Godzilla theory? Let's talk about it.
I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Real talk.
What's good, everyone? It's your boy Token Drew. And today on Drew's Reviews, we are talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, released March 31st, 2021 over here in the States, but our overseas brothers and sisters, they got it a week early. And directed by Adam Wingard. Starring Alexander Skarsgård as Nathan Lind, Millie Bobby Brown as Madison Russell, Rebecca Hall as Eileen Andrews, Brian Tyree is Bernie Hayes, Shun Oguri is Ren Serizawa, Julian Dennison, you know, the little chubby kid from Deadpool 2, plays Josh Valentine. Cal Chandler reprises his role as Mark Russell. Demian Bichir as Walter Simmons. Finally, Eliza Gonzalez as his daughter Maya Simmons. So this movie picks up 5 years after Godzilla King of the Monsters, the movie in which Godzilla showed that he was the most alpha of all the predators. Now, we've all wondered what was Kong doing at this time, and this movie answers that shit immediately. But before I get into it, first things first, I want to say this is your spoiler warning, because we just gonna be talking, son. And next, I want to say, if you have a chance to see this in theaters, go check that shit out, because I would love to see the Monsterverse continue. I want to see what these directors do with Gigan. And I feel like Hollywood would have the money to give us the crossover that Japan has been too stubborn to do with Godzilla vs. Gamera. And hell, they can even do it like how they did this one, to be honest. So this is the 36th Godzilla film. And it is the 12th King Kong movie. So there's some lore up in this. Granted, it doesn't call back on anything except for the previous Monsterverse movies, which were Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters in that order. This movie does still have a handful of callbacks to the originals. Not that many, but a handful. Whereas the last movie I felt was a love letter to the fans, even though people have complained a lot about it because of the subpar human side drama, as well as the fact that a lot of the monster fights were obscured. But personally, I love that damn movie. You saw that was number 6 in my top 33 Godzilla movies. Link over here. And to be honest, I think that this movie is my favorite of the Monsterverse movies. In fact, my picks for the Monsterverse movies just goes in reverse order in which they were released, with Godzilla vs. Kong at the top and Godzilla 2014 at the bottom. You can fill in the blanks from there. You know, I've already just talked about it. But anyway, let's talk about this movie. So this movie is only an hour and a half long, and there's no end credit scene. So more of the Easter eggs you're going to find are in the opening title sequence, when it is really, really cool, because it goes through the different monsters that King Kong has defeated and the different monsters that Godzilla has defeated. And is doing like a tournament style bracket to where those two are facing off. So that was really cool. Not to mention it gives you some interesting tidbits about the monsters. You should pause it if you want to see, such as, you know, Kong's strength is his intelligence, but weakness is fire, and the official size of Godzilla in this movie. So, you know, stuff like that I looked at closely, but I don't really remember any of it because life goes on, you know what I'm saying? The movie starts off with King Kong, and I think that is really cool for this movie to start off with the monsters. You know, doesn't start off with the human bullshit, you're gonna get that soon, but starts off with the monsters. Immediately they humanize Kong with the way he wakes up, the music they have playing in the background for us, the audience. He does like a little shower kind of thing. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, it just goes to show you how intelligent that Kong is and how freaking huge he's grown. So after his morning routine, Kong meets up with Jin, who is a little deaf girl who lives on the island. And just like how I surmised in my trailer breakdown, she is the final remaining survivor of that tribe that was on the island, but they all got killed off by a storm. So it's literally just Kong, little girl, and whatever random monsters they come across. Dr. Eileen Andrews, well, actually I don't even know if they mentioned if she's a doctor or not, but I'm gonna say Dr. Eileen Andrews comes up because Kong takes this tree and fashions it into a spear and chucks it into the sky in front of Jin. The tree hits a screen and you see that Kong is actually in Containment Unit 236 for Monarch, which Monarch doesn't really have a heavy presence in this movie, which is kind of strange seeing as how much Monarch was in the first three, but it is what it is. Dr. Eileen Andrews comes out and explains the reason why Kong is contained, because if they let him out, Godzilla's gonna fight him and will probably kill him. And even though the person that Eileen is talking to asks, does she not think that Kong can defend himself, she just gives him a look. And I thought that was pretty cool because it's just instantly throwing Godzilla into a bigger territory. And I'm all for that. Godzilla, when he comes up, is pretty damn awesome because he just comes up and destroys an Apex base. And one of the side characters, played by Brian Tyree, whose name goes by Bernie Hayes, who's a podcaster, is talking about how he's been working up the ranks to try and learn more about the secret shit that Apex is doing. When Godzilla attacks Apex, Bernie ends up in an area where he sees this weird red orb. I think it was one of Mechagodzilla's eyes, honestly, which they'll show later. Because people don't understand why Godzilla is attacking these Apex bases, they decide to use Kong as a way to protect themselves and to fight Godzilla. So they enlist the help of Dr. Nathan Lind, who was played by Alexander Skarsgård. Apex approaches Nathan and they want him to go into Hollow Earth, and that's where a big chunk of the story takes place. Hollow Earth being inside the Earth, and that's where Kong's people were from. And pretty much all the Titans is what they're insinuating. So a team of Nathan Lind, Eileen Andrews, as well as a whole bunch of other characters, including Maya Simmons, who is the head of Apex's daughter. And the head of Apex is played by Damien Belchier, that's Walter Simmons. So they bring Kong, and they're going to bring him up to Antarctica because they're hoping he can lead him into Hollow Earth. Because in Hollow Earth, there's an energy source. Now, of course, this isn't told to the people leading the expedition, but there's an energy source. That energy source is hoped to power Mechagodzilla because Mechagodzilla can only fire one blast and shut down, which is a good homage to Shin Godzilla. Which they do another homage to Shin Godzilla when Godzilla actually comes to attack. Kong is on the ship being transported, and this is their first battle, the one that we saw in the trailer where Kong punches Godzilla in the face. Godzilla ends up winning this fight because it's on water, and it's kind of funny because Kong pretty much has to play dead, or else Godzilla would have came and finished him. And one of my biggest annoyances of this movie is that, you know, Godzilla had a part where he was dragging Kong underwater, and the humans let off on these battleships who were escorting Kong. The humans let off these discharges to just disrupt Godzilla and save Kong. That's the first, but not the only time that the humans helped Kong out. And I thought that was kind of whack, honestly. Like, there's 2 or 3 times where he should have been killed where he wasn't because of the humans' interference. Some king you are. Godzilla definitely wants all the smoke in this movie, and I love that about him. He is just ready for a fight at all times, doesn't matter what. He is like all hands. He's like Braun Strowman. These hands are for everybody. When Godzilla is approaching the ship and these planes are trying to stop him, his tail comes up and very similar to like in the Shin Godzilla movie, attacks one of the planes. And I thought that was a really cool part. I don't want to synopsis the whole movie because the human drama, though it's not the best, it's just meh. It just is what it is. However, the humans do get to Hollow Earth, and it is such a cool sequence when they get there and just seeing it, because like the ground and the sky is similar to the movie Inception when everything started to fold in on itself. That's similar to what it was. You have mountains on the ground and mountains in the sky. The whole sequence out here was really cool. However, I don't like the fact that there wasn't any cool Easter eggs. Like, they had a big iguana step on a crab thing. I'm like, why not make that an Anguirus? You know, like, give us something to get hype about. That's, what the f is that, you know? There is a really cool but annoying part in the movie that happens between Kong and the little girl, Gia. They can communicate via sign language. And when that happened, I was like, oh shit, Kong is definitely gonna win this fight. They have him acting like a human, they have him communicating to a human. But it serves its purpose later on. So I like that, but I also don't like it because at the end of the day, it's a big ass monster talking. And that gives me Godzilla versus Gigan vibes.
Something funny going on. You better check.
You know, that's not always the best vibes. I don't want my monsters talking. But he is a giant ape who is extremely smart, so sign language, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, like, it's a plus and a minus to me. You know, on the positive side, I don't hate the humans, but also the humans kind of suck. You know, the human subplots weren't the worst things of the movie, honestly, but they kind of were. Meaning, of course, I would love to see a Godzilla movie where there are no humans. I would love to just see the monsters do their shit. And hell, if you can follow body language, you can actually see and understand what creatures are saying. Hell, I can communicate with my animals easily. I know exactly what they want just by how they are. And most pet owners can, you know? And speaking of that, I really like Godzilla and Kong's personalities. You know, when they pull off awesome moves and they smirk at each other, or when you see them, you know, understanding, or, you know, just how the fights are going, you can understand them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could read the characters, and it was great without needing someone explaining anything, without needing exposition. I can definitely get what's going on, and I like that. You know, they did a great job with the movie. Not to mention, every fight scene was awesome. They were fast and frantic. These monsters were like dashing all around each other and jumping. King Kong was just jumping off buildings and swinging his axe around, and you know, it was really, really cool. Really, really awesome fights. The special effects were bright and vibrant and really, really good. I thought that King of the Monsters was a bit better because there was a bit more awe-inspiring. It was a bit more awe-inspiring, such as when Mothra first spread her wings, or when Ghidorah first came out, or, you know, Godzilla turning into his burning Godzilla form. I felt like it was a whole lot more flash to that movie, but this one was still really, really good with the colors. And you can understand everything that was going on. There was no subdueness. There was no fog. There was no particle effects blocking shit. You know, you saw these fights in their entirety, and it was great. You know, another con I have, though, is like, where was Charles Dance? You know, where was he? In the last movie, in the end credits scene, he's the one who got the Ghidorah head. And I know I say Ghidra and Ghidorah both ways because I really don't know what is the proper way to do it. There's, you know, tomato. But he was nowhere in the movie, not even mentioned. Madison's mom, Emma Russell, was mentioned and got more fanboy reaction. But the leader of Apex, that big shady asshole, nothing. I found that awfully strange. But the biggest disappointment to me would have to be Mechagodzilla's design. When the toys revealed him about 6 or so months ago, and I saw that he had those stupid ass claw hands, I was like, what the hell is this? I was really hoping that was just like, you know, a first draft and they would change it, but they didn't. I mean, Mechagodzilla was powerful. He was strong as hell. And he was made from the bones of the Godzilla found in 2014. And had the brain of one of the Ghidorah heads. And then the second Ghidorah head, I believe was the main one, was the one that was being piloted by Serizawa's son. Now, I have a theory that, and I'm going to watch this movie again to make sure this theory weighs up. But I have a theory that the third head was supposed to be the pilot. And when Mechagodzilla took over, because they mentioned that the heads communicate telepathically, a telepathic signal was going to this third brain, which is the human brain, but it couldn't handle it, and that's why he got fried, is what I thought. That's what overloaded the system, electrocuted him. I think that's what it was the fact that you needed 3 heads and the third head was just too much power. But I'm gonna watch it again and double check that and see that, because my last theory, the fact that I thought there was a fake Godzilla was hella wrong, son. Boy, was that shit wrong. It's what it is. It was my first time trying that. Got it wrong, so sue me. Actually, don't sue me. I'm not making money off this shit. I ain't trying to get sued. There were no relationships between the characters, so it's really hard for me to connect with them, and I think that's why the humans sucked. I feel like they tried too hard to make Maya suck, because she came in hella bitchy, and this pretty girl who had a shit attitude. Of course we're supposed to hate her. Of course she was gonna die. I felt nothing towards her except for this is just the obvious character. Maybe I'm just getting old and I've seen it too much, but I just really didn't like how hard they tried with her. I'd much rather a more natural character that we just hate, but we know they're not there just to get eaten later. She wasn't eaten, she was crushed, but still. A really cool part is in the Hollow Earth, where you see what I assume was built by Kong's people, just his shrine. It was dwarfing him in size, which means that humans would be like ants in there. But that's where Kong got his axe. But the cool part is in Hong Kong, Godzilla arrives there, and you think he's going to destroy the Apex base, but he stops and he looks down and he starts blasting his atomic breath down and causes a huge hole. And he blasts it all the way down to the Hollow Earth, right in front of King Kong. Like, damn, dude, you sensed him that far away? Or the fact that when Kong lifted up that axe, it set off a chain of things in motion, that you saw that blue Godzilla style outline, because it showed a couple bones of both Kong species and the Godzilla species. So we know that the iterations we're seeing are not the only ones, and that, yes, they really have been at war. But Kong comes up that hole, and you have their final showdown, which during the showdown, Godzilla gets knocked back or something, and Eileen says, oh, second round goes to Kong. But I'm like, that really wasn't it, but if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But then their final battle happens between the two of them, and it is freaking epic. And, we all knew who was going to win, honestly, and it was great seeing it happen, especially seeing how much he was screwed over in the 1962 version. But it was so cool how they did it. And somehow they used one of the heat machines to resuscitate Kong, because his heart was slowing down. Like, Godzilla beat the shit out of him, son, but also Kong gave him everything he could. And Godzilla was just overpowered him, and it was cool. It was great. I loved it. And when Mechagodzilla comes up, Godzilla, he still wants to smoke, even though he's all damaged and he done fought Kong all night. Mechagodzilla comes up and he's like, bring it, son. He goes right for the battle, and Mechagodzilla puts it on him. But the humans use the heave ship, which is what they use to go into the Hollow Earth, and they use that to send a shockwave into him to resurrect him, because Maya cockily says that ship can power all of Las Vegas. So he resurrects, and Gia communicates with him saying that Godzilla is not the enemy, that Mechagodzilla is. Please go help him. And they start fighting together to fight Mechagodzilla, and it is such a cool scene. Even though we all called it, I know I called it, that they were going to team up and fight him, it was still really cool to see. And the fact that to get the final blow, Godzilla shot his heat breath at King Kong's axe, which powered it up, and King Kong slashed it through Mechagodzilla, but Mechagodzilla only powered down because the humans, Josh, Maddie, and Bernie, were in the main control center after Walter Simmons gets killed when Mechagodzilla gains his own free will, and they just pour liquor all over the control panel, and it makes Mechagodzilla shut down. So if it wasn't for the humans, that's the one main thing I really didn't like, is that the humans essentially saved the day. If it wasn't for them, Kong would have died twice, and if Kong would have died, Godzilla definitely would have got killed by Mechagodzilla in this one. But either way, it was still a really good movie. Still a whole lot of fun. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+. As far as where I would place it in my top Godzilla movies, I would give this the number 6 spot that King of the Monsters had, and I would push King of the Monsters to number 7. This movie was really good, really fun. I'm glad it came out well. I'm glad that it's doing well in the box office. Maybe we can see more movies. Next review I got coming up is going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then we have some Mortal Kombat reviews leading up until the April release of the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie. So it's going to be some good times. It's going to be some good times. But until then, I'm your boy Token Drew. Live up. Smoke out. Game on. I'm out this bitch. Thanks for watching. Team Godzilla, baby. Yeah.
Story, yo, nigga, I hit it though when you make out the fire ganj. In the end, it's all just weed. Shorty, you make it, the bomb is head, but you ain't the first one to give it to me. I ain't a drug dealer, but I still got the water cash. Not trying to brag, just stating the facts. Spend what I want, and I make it all back in a matter of days. I still get paid. Bitch, don't like my game, I still get laid. And I don't give a damn if you like my shit. I'm DJ Shades, I still get played. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Real talk, we similar. I hustle, you hustle. I rise, you rise. I struggle and you struggle. Is my shit so different? Cause I talk like I'm educated. Am I struggling the same cause I wait the tables? Y'all fuckers at my stage exaggerate and say I ain't real cause I ain't a felon. I'm the one buying drugs that you selling. You hustling for a living, but I'm buying cause my pocket's overzealous. Yeah, I might be nice, have a dime wife, girl by my side no matter the